Hey guys, how's it going? It's Sal coming at you again with another video. If you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. And everything I'm going to be talking about in this video today is in my book, From Pre-Med to Med Student. It is available on Amazon.com. It has everything that you need to know for applying to med school, getting your application right, setting up your med school list, essays, MCAT, whatever you need is in the book. Check it out, From Pre-Med to Med Student. It's on Amazon.com. All right, let's get going with the video. So, why didn't you get the med school interview that you wanted? Well, there's probably 5 reasons for it. I'm gonna start with reason number 1 is that your med school list was way too competitive. I see this happen all the time. There are students that are applying to like Dartmouth, Harvard, Cornell, and they just have that top heavy list of schools on their application. And that's basically just making it harder for you to even get an interview. I mentioned this in my book a lot, but setting up your med school list is very important. You want to make sure that you're checking out the MCAT database and that you are within the percentiles for that school's acceptances. You could do this easily by getting a subscription to MCAT, but a lot of students decide not to do it. They get a top heavy list, they don't end up with interviews. Reason number 2, your GPA or your MCAT fell below the 10th percentile for that school's accepted students. Now, this is really important, and I mentioned this in my book. When you are applying to med school, you want to make sure that you're within a certain ballpark range for the school that you're applying to. Now, what does this mean? If you go on MSAR and you see that, let's say this school's 10th percentile MCAT is a 513 and you got an MCAT score of 511, then you're below the 10th percentile of students that they accept in that school. So your likelihood of getting an interview is quite low already just based off of statistics. This is the same for GPA, cumulative GPA, science GPA, it doesn't matter. So that's probably reason number 2 why you didn't get an interview, your GPA or MCAT fell below the 10th percentile. Now reason number 3 is that your personal statement was way too cookie cutter, way too generic, saying things like I want to be a doctor because I want to help people, or it simply wasn't compelling enough. A lot of people do this. They write their personal statement, they don't get it reviewed by professionals, they don't get it reviewed by their advisor, which is one thing. You should definitely get it reviewed by an advisor, but I also recommend going online and submitting it to professionals so that they can review it. And obviously your friends and family, but your friends and family are biased, right? So you want to make sure that you're getting your personal statement looked at by at least 10 people, right? Because that's the only way you're going to know that your personal statement is good, it's direct, it's concise, but it also tells a story and makes a compelling story for why you should be given an interview. So reason number 4 is that your extracurriculars or your leadership skills were lacking, and this happens a lot. There are students that focus a lot on getting a really high GPA, really good MCAT score, but then they don't have the extracurriculars. They don't have volunteering experience, they don't have research, they haven't done anything outside of academia, right? So med schools want to see some sort of diversity in their students, whether it's talent, whether it's skill, whether it's leadership. And so join clubs, go volunteer, do something that's going to make you stand out and put it on your application. And likely a lot of students that have these great applications or great applications that they think they have fall short on the extracurricular and leadership side. Leadership is a really important skill. As a future physician, you're going to be a leader, and so you need to be able to demonstrate your leadership skills in your application. So reason number 5 is that you apply too late in the application cycle. This happens all the time, and I talk about this extensively in my book. Basically what happened is that there were, let's say, 200 slots that were open for a new matriculant class, right? And let's say you applied late in the cycle, and by that point they had already given out 100 acceptances. Now at this point you're fighting for half the number of seats. So basically the committee is getting a magnifying glass and looking at every application saying, hey, is this application worth a seat now? And so basically the competitiveness rises as the application cycle continues. Your best chance of getting an interview is earlier in the application cycle. And I talk about this extensively in my book, and basically about preparing your application and submitting it early and complete so that you have your transcripts ready, your letters of recommendations, and everything. So there you have it, guys. Those are 5 reasons why you didn't get an interview to med school. I hope this video was helpful. I talk about all of these tips and more in my book, From Pre-Med to Med Student. It's available on Amazon.com. Talk about it extensively, especially about how to apply early and how to get your application complete and make a coherent story so that you can get accepted to med school. Thanks again for watching, guys, and please subscribe to our channel. We are growing every day, and I will see you in the next video.